Hi friends, this is your A Nurser. Today I have come up with a new lesson, and the name of the lesson is the last lesson, second part. Yesterday we learned half of the story. The name of the lesson is the last lesson. In this lesson, Franz, a school-going boy, was late that day going to school. Though he was late, he came out of the house and going towards the school. So on the way he remembered his teacher asked him to learn about the rules of participles and to come. But Franz forgot to learn the rules. So now two things are there for him to receive the punishment from the teacher. What are those two? Number one, late. Number two, not preparing the rules of participles. So he had a thought to avoid going to school. For this, there are three reasons. Number one, the outside atmosphere was very, very pleasant one. The day was very bright. Secondly, the birds were chirping in the nearby woods. And third one, the Persian soldiers were doing their parade, the band and everything. All these things forced this boy to avoid going to school. But the strictness of the teacher forced the boy to run towards the school. So when he reached the school, he noticed three strange things. Number one, the classroom was very silent, quiet, clear. Number two, that day the teacher wore a ceremonial dress, the dress that he used to wear on some ceremonial functions. Clear. The third strange thing was the village elders occupied the backbenches. And one more thing also, that day the teacher was very, very polite. He didn't say anything for his coming late. Clear? So now the teacher announced that that day was his last day to teach French in the school. What was the reason? The reason was the district in which they live was captured by the Germans, and they sent an order. What? To stop teaching French language in the schools, and from next day onwards a new teacher would come to teach them everything in Germany language. And up to this we read yesterday. So now let us start reading. What a thunderclap these words were to me. So these words, what were those words? That from the next day onwards they do not learn anything in French language. That struck him, hit him like a thunderclap. Oh, the wretches! That was what they had put up at the town hall. Oh, that is the thing. You see, the unfortunate people were looking at that news in the town hall. My last French lesson? Why? So the boy was started feeling bad for this. Why I hardly knew how to write. You see, I hardly knew. That means I didn't learn completely how to write. I should never learn anymore. You see, he got surprised whether he would get a chance to learn his mother tongue or not. I must stop there then. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lessons. Now slowly the boy started realizing the fact of wasting his time for seeking birds' eggs or going sliding on the shore. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, just a few minutes ago, his bag seemed much heavier. That means he didn't like reading at all. That is the reason. So heavy to carry my grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now that I couldn't give up. You see, now slowly he started realizing that simply he wasted time. The time when he needed to learn the things he enjoyed. And M. Hamel too, the idea that he was going away. That means he didn't want to leave his teacher also. That I should never see him again made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. When the thought of leaving his teacher has come in his mind, then all the thoughts about the teacher went. Understood? Now slowly he started liking the teacher. Poor man. It was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. Now he is feeling pity. Who? This boy. So in order to celebrate his last day in the school, this teacher wore the ceremonial dress. Now slowly he is realizing why that a teacher wore ceremonial dress. Why those elderly people took the last bench. I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry. What is the reason for the elders to occupy the last benches? The reason is simply now they realized when the teacher announced that from next day onwards they do not learn anything in French. Now all the villagers, everybody realized what the foolish thing they did so far by neglecting learning their mother tongue. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. Now he is thinking, but the process of teaching is going on. The boy is not at all attentive in the class. He was thinking about the past, how he wasted his time, everything. But the teacher is very sincere. The teacher didn't stop teaching. He gave some homework. What is that? To learn and come the rules of participles. So now the teacher started asking each and every child. Now this boy's turn has come. Whose turn? The friends. It was my turn to recite. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake. So now he is thinking whether he could be able to recite that participle rules clearly without any single mistake or not. He wanted to recite that. But I got mixed up on the first words and stood there holding on my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. Now he is feeling very sad. Why? For not able to recite the rules of participle. Listen, whenever you have that realization, then definitely you learn something. So now this boy started realizing, I heard M. Hamel say to me, I won't scold you, little friends. You must feel bad enough. You see, you should feel bad because it is not a foreign language. I am talking about your mother tongue only. So you should be able to speak and write in your mother tongue. See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, Ba, I have plenty of time. I will learn it tomorrow. You see, we have a habit of postponing the things. We have a habit of postponing the things. So I don't want to say anything to you. It is in the blood of the people of this town. And now you see where we have come out. That is the great trouble with the LSs. She puts off learning till tomorrow. That means the people of that LSS district, they have habit of postponing the things and learning also for next day. Now, those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it? You pretend to be Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language. So these Germans would laugh at us. These Germans, those who are going to rule us, would laugh. How can you say that you are a Frenchman when you do not know how to write and read your mother tongue? They would laugh at us. Your parents were not anxious enough now. This teacher wanted to say the reasons for the children not having any attention towards learning. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. You see, this is one reason. Because your parents are not at all anxious to send you to school. They prefer to put you work on a farm or at the mills so as to have little more money. So this is one reason. Your parents are responsible for you not creating any interest towards studies. And you see, this teacher blaming himself also. So this shows how gentle he is. And I have been to blame also. You see, I am also responsible for you, for your this tendency towards your education. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? You see, I sent you a number of times to water my plants when you are supposed to learn. And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? You see, in order to have some entertainment, in order to have some pleasure for myself, I gave you holiday. So I am also responsible for this. Then, from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world. Now he started saying about what? About the French language. He said it is one of the best languages of the world. The cleverest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. You see, we should not forget our mother tongue. Because when a people are enslaved, here a people means a country. When a country is enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. You see, once you keep your mother tongue intact in you, then you have the energy to get free from the chains blocking you, stopping you. Understood? So this is the importance of your mother tongue. So He gave his advice to all the students not to forget their mother tongue. Then he opened grammar. You see, he is a very sincere teacher. I appreciate. Generally, what happens, suppose if I get a good chance, for 1 month, I do not teach. Anyhow, I am leaving. Why should I teach? Anyhow, I am leaving the job. Why should I teach? This is the tendency of the most of the people. But this man is not like that. Last day, still he didn't spend even a single minute without teaching. That is the greatness of this teacher. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. Listen. If you have interest, if you have that interest, if you like that teacher, that is the thing I tell to my students. First, you love your teacher. Automatically, you start loving the subject. First, you love your teacher. First, you love the voice of your teacher. Then automatically you have interest towards that subject, what the teacher teaches you. Love your teacher. So that is the thing. Now slowly this boy started loving the teacher. That is the reason. He felt the grammar is the easiest thing. Grammar was the easiest thing. Understood? I understood it. All he said seemed so easy. So easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully. He realizing, he accepting that so far he didn't take anything seriously. That is the reason. That is the reason he felt the subjects that were taught in the school were very difficult. And now when he started listening carefully, everything looked simpler. And that he had never explained everything with so much patience. No, that is also there. A teacher should teach with patience. Because after all, he is teaching to the beginners. He should not get angry. He might have taught that lesson 100 times. But for the child, it is the first time to listen. So the teacher should have that patience. So maybe the teacher taught with a lot of patience. That may be a reason for this boy to understand the lesson better. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away. And it put it all in our heads at one stroke. So, maybe the day poor Hamel was trying to teach whatever knowledge he has on that subject. Clear? So, let us stop our lesson here. Tomorrow again, I come up with the remaining lesson. Till then, have a nice day. I think you like my teaching. If it is yes, then do not forget to subscribe to my channel, General English, all for competitive examinations. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and tomorrow again I come up with the remaining part of the lesson. Till then, bye bye. Have a nice day.